So the Defender returns to the race course. Double duty today. They will sail the last race against Orient Express Racing on this 6th day of the Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series. They had a shortened today. It was when it was all going on. We'll just see if we've got a clear race course first of all.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling period is complete, and this race is live.
Just over 9.
That's the news you want to hear. It'll be a port entry for INEOS Britannia, a starboard entry for Emirates Team New Zealand, who, and let's remind everybody, they are running out of race partners because once they're done this weekend, they're racing against themselves.
Yep, your old Nigel no mates after these few races, and a big gap then for the Defender to wait and see who becomes their challenger for the America's Cup AC37.
Also, if you're INEOS Britannia, I mean, it's a great chance, isn't it, to try new things, new settings, new techniques.
All good here, Don. Hey, working out. Quite light here at the moment.
So 2 minutes and 10 seconds, the intended time that INEOS Britannia are allowed into the box to start.
Clearly come down. Backing down. Quite light in this box.
And in they come. Now waiting for the Defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup.
Go across. Happy pass all the way down. That here. Okay, working up. Okay, what do you think then? Just up into zone 1, stroke zone 2. They continue. Bit breeze inside. They're going quite high up there. They are driving.
Both boats very experienced match racing teams here. And we will see the boats getting pushed hard here in the next 1 minute as they engage to try and take an advantage over their opponent.
Yeah, like Tom left at the moment. Yeah, you are happy to stay high at the moment.
Slight bias on the pin towards that left-hand side of the start box.
Both these boats in their last race starts had average starts. The opening part of the day, and we go back to the day when Emirates Team New Zealand faced off against Louis Vuitton, Little Rosso Prada Pirelli. So this is work still being done.
The Defender is setting up high.
Just watch, don't get in too slow here. They don't have a shutout on the boat, no. 20 to kill us. Hey, killing one for the pin. Yeah, they're trying to stay off a bit.
We'll see a big speed build shortly on Emirates Team New Zealand to put pressure on the British.
Get on the charge fairly soon. Thank you for this time. Time to come down to us. Hey, they're going to get just around the boat, but they'll be sort of mid-line, I think.
The New Zealanders on the prowl, heading in.
We've got a big dam to come down. It looks like here.
Big speed delta there between two boats, so 10 knot speed differential there. The British having to accelerate hard here.
British look happy to lead back, win that pin end.
Let's go. A little bit flat. So 3, 2, 1.
Racing again in the Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series. Challenger of record, Defender.
Good initial pressure, right, actually. Going okay at the moment.
Great start by INEOS Britannia.
Just some pressure inside of us.
Basically, Emirates Team New Zealand just having to hold gauge all the way to that left-hand side of the course to then put the pressure back on INEOS after the next tack.
Yeah, it's just this right inside of us.
Emirates Team New Zealand have done really well there. I don't know if there's been a little bit of a right rotation, but so well to hang in.
I think they have got just a little right, you heard that.
They're up quite aggressively to Louis. Just time to push now, so pitch. Recover here, boys. They're almost in the zone. 20 seconds to boundary. They'll probably go at zone, so...
Comms from here will be about hitting the British on the exit of this tack.
Now, they'll press attack. They might go here. Stand by. Have to one board down. 2, 1, made. I exit here. I will. And up here. Trouble here. Max flat, max flat. We're going to have to push through. Push through.
Oh, and the British there off the foil. Really, they came in with really deep out on the jib on that exit of that. And big loss there for the British, unfortunately. Very nice positioning by Emirates Team New Zealand. The British having to dig hard here to accelerate the boat and keep their air clear.
24 knots, just get into the breeze.
It's a tough manoeuvre as well because you don't want to come down and build pace because you're falling into the boat front.
It's going to chase zero. Peter, I can see you there on chase zero. What did you make of all of that?
Well, for me, the key to that was a good start by Emirates Team New Zealand. They held the action all the way to the ley line. They gauged away enough, so as they came up to the boundary, the New Zealanders started to go in a boost mode. So when they tacked, the New Zealanders were 3 knots quicker than INEOS. That meant when they came out of the tack, straight into high mode, and we've seen that picture before going to Emirates Team New Zealand.
If they go now, would you just
It's a great shot here of the two jibs. The British jib is taller. I mean, I don't know if it's just a different shape or a different size, but definitely looks different to the Kiwis.
Yeah, probably got to go before them, otherwise we're going to eat their cash on the way out.
A little bit to left. Let's go. Go.
Pardon. 2, 1, forward down. 3, 2, 1, mate.
Yeah, square head jib versus pin head jib, so slightly higher clue loading or sheet loading on the square head jib and slightly higher head loading on the pin head jib, so less load on the actual sheet on the British boat, slightly more on Emirates Team New Zealand, but both achieving similar jobs and similar outcomes, so nice to see some design differences all achieving similar results.
How many jibs can you measure in?
About 5 or 6 on these boats, so every 2 knots of wind speed up or down you can be on another code of jib, so very finely tuned, looking for an advantage over your opponent, and all important to get that weather call right from your meteorological
team. A little higher on average. It's lefty now.
Both boats on the right jibs at the moment.
Emirates Team New Zealand into the top gate for the first time, leading by some 200 metres on INEOS Britannia, the official challenger of record. Still a long way to go. You take race 18 where GBR were looking really strong and sailing it beautifully. This is far from over, but you cannot make mistakes.
I think we get a little towaway soon. I'll see.
INEOS Britannia coming to the top gate for the first time. 5 legs to go. All concentration. Nathan Outteridge on port helm for Emirates Team New Zealand. Around go INEOS Britannia.
Little touchdown there by the British, which is not ideal if you can avoid it, and to be honest, I don't think the British did a bad job of that start, and just a bit unlucky. The ghost boat there showing big shifts on the course now compared to last race. And a lot to play for here. Very much an eyes-out situation with the British driving early and hopefully taking a little gain on this next starboard tack downwind against Emirates Team New Zealand.
We've seen INEOS Britannia have great downwind pace. Let's see how they go next to the defender.
Hey, looking left compared to your above. Here, I'll start looking downwind.
That's coming a little more better down, Pete.
Bit of early on helming duties at the moment. A little green wheel there signifying he's actually controlling the boat at the moment. Nathan Outteridge obviously not steering with his hands on the side of the boat, having a look around. He'll be looking at his screen.
They obviously are going to be 2 jibes. We could do it in 1 just. Maybe a good time to go. It goes back right and it's better for us. Look up there. Yeah, okay.
We go right here.
So that was on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Let's see now what they're thinking on INEOS Britannia.
20 seconds. Okay, stand by here. 2, 1, board down.
Let's go with 2, 1, made.
Heading higher up. Stop, landed. 2, 1, go board. Please match. Nice, getting going. 36.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.3 nautical miles.
And knocking it back.
Okay, nice going to you guys. Okay, where's this pressure? Potentially they going lighter there. Quite soft in front, yeah.
Big gains to the British here, Shirley. Look at the distance just getting chewed up there as they sail in pressure.
They're way better than VMG. They've got great pressure there.
jibing. You can see that puff coming down, or that extra pressure coming down that side of the course. So British jibing to try and take advantage of that extra wind coming down that side of the course to take an advantage.
Getting light towards the bottom here. Boundary in 10.
Push second half of jive.
Yep. Okay, stand by. 2, 1, port down. 2, 1, made. Standing. Timer. Let's go with 2. Fine, stand by. Quite hook up there. Yeah, hold the push here. Good breeze right now. There we go. Taking main, lads.
Emirates Team New Zealand will be lining up for middle gate here.
Right in here at the moment.
And leaving both options open for either rounding, depending on what they see as the favoured side of the course for the first part of the beat.
Nathan Arden's called it. He said we can do it in one jibe on that, and INEOS Britannia will do it in 2. True to his word, Emirates Team New Zealand coming into the bottom gate to complete leg number 2 in this Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series. No points on the board, but more importantly, race practice. Checking the opposition out. Same deal for INEOS Britannia, official challenger of record. They round that right-hand mark, head up on the 3rd leg. A little bit of a touchdown too.
I've seen this as a bit of a theme for the British, just every mark rounding, just a little bow down, touchdown. I'm not sure if it's when they actually change from their downwind mode to their upwind mode, whether that's actually changing something on board the boat, but it does seem to be a bit of a theme with the British. So Emirates Team New Zealand tacking back, not the best angle there for Emirates Team New Zealand coming across the course, but good boat speed, but just trying to not let the British get something that they may not have seen out that right-hand side of the course.
Let's get on to chase 0 with Peter Lester. Intriguing little race so far, not at the halfway point yet, Pete.
INEOS showed good pace on that downwind, and they also, on the right-hand side on the downwind, there's a bit more pressure. And you could hear Ben Ainsley talking about that, and they just milked that all the way down into the bottom 3rd. For Emirates Team New Zealand, now they'll just try and match them on the second windward beat. I got a feeling they'll protect the right-hand side as they do that top mark approach.
I'm nervous about the top right, to be honest. I think we want to go with in this one.
Going left quickly here.
But down. I think we're caught between the 2 breezes, so.
I'd agree with Andy Maloney there. Just that angle that they had on that previous tack, they really caved in towards the British, and I'll take a little gain, and then they'll be back into that right-hand pressure again. So almost having to commit a little further, perhaps, to stay
I'm at tacking speed. Left is the
in good
danger
position
side.
strategically wise.
That's happy to head again. I think we're already too fast. Just picking a good lane.
It's sometimes tricky, isn't it? You're trying to just have a loose cover, not be too aggressive, and like you end up sailing up the middle, not in the new breeze.
Trying to up the accuracy, boys, a little. Yeah, if they exit at 9, it's fine. And button. Not out of sailing.
Coming into more pressure on your hip here.
Let's go on board Emirates Team New Zealand chase boat with coach Ray Davies. Nice race so far, mate, but we're seeing some good speed from INEOS, aren't we?
175 and 150.
Yeah, it's pretty dramatic conditions out here. Definitely some pretty big holes in it still, down to 7 knots and up to 11 knots. But yeah, pretty much all over the show. But we had a good start, held to the boundary, and were able to hurt them pretty hard out of that left-hand side. And I think INEOS had a pretty nice run. Picked up they joined a couple of nice dots, but I think we're away again now. We're back in phase. It's going well.
You got to make every post a winner when you start to run out of races, when you're done with the Louis Vuitton Cup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just trying to make as much out of these days as possible, learn as much as we can. You know, you're learning a lot off every race we do in these in these Challenger series. So it's been great to be part of it, and it's going to be a little bit tough watching it from the sideline over the next month. But you know, we got some plans up our sleeve.
I'm sure you have. Thanks, Ray.
See you guys.
Emirates Team New Zealand have really clicked into some great breeze. They've been sailing, I think, about 8 degrees higher than the British.
I think the British just are tack or so ago. May have had a touchdown, lost a lot of speed there, which has opened the gap to Emirates Team New Zealand, and all about sailing the puffs and the shifts well. And when you're sailing a couple of bad angles one after the other, you absolutely cough up distance big time quickly. So very much a sailor's race out there at the moment with lots of puffs and shifts.
If you're one of those challengers and you're hearing Ray Davies say, oh, well, it's going to be hard, but we've got plans up our sleeves, you start just to get slightly nervous, because we know there's a lot to play and a lot more developments on all the boats in the America's Cup. But the Defender, how much quicker can she go? We'll just have to wait and find out. They will complete leg number 3 and halfway in this Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series match against the official challenger of record, INEOS Britannia. And around the mark goes Taihoro.
I think go all the way at the moment and just try and clear all that gas.
INEOS Britannia coming into the gate. They too will complete the 3rd leg. Still a long way to go in this race.
5 seconds.
Glorious day on the race course off the coast of Barcelona for the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup.
2, 1. Hey boys, 100. 5 obviously. Yeah.
This is the race committee. We are moving the windward gate, shortening the course to 1.2 nautical miles.
It's a little less breeze there on the course. Race committee just shortening it up a bit to try and hit that target time. 23 minutes per race.
You can see from that shot of the wind field just how complicated the track is, and I loved it when we heard from Andy Maloney, the trimmer of Emirates Team New Zealand. He's like, just forget about them, keep our eyes on the course, because this is complex. It is about joining the dots.
It's extremely tricky, and sometimes you've just got to focus on yourself to make sure you're doing the simple things well on your boat. Very hard to defend when it's puffy and shifty, and very easy to lose ground, so almost having to keep attacking the course surely, even though you're actually leading the race.
Sometimes you need a voice of reason to put you on the boat.
You do. That's why you don't sail these things by yourself. A lot of information on board the process from all the crew, even the cyclists chipping in for course management and pressures and where they're at with the hydraulics. So big team effort to get the boat around the track.
Okay, let's go here.
Just interesting having a look there. Oh, a great shot of the foils of both boats, and super high aspect ratio foils, very, very efficient and perfectly designed for these light to medium air conditions. So unbelievable performance with such light air. Keeping these 7,000 kilogram machines flying through the air.
Obviously, but I think you're going to get a good towaway.
Very nice job. Yeah.
Beautifully locked in there, Emirates Team New Zealand, and having to foil trimmers having to keep those air bombs, or that little pokey bit that's sticking out the front of the foil. For those that aren't initiated to foiling, that's full of mass basically for measurement purposes. So some teams opting for a slightly skinnier foil section down low and then carrying the weight a little higher for the centre of mass or centre of gravity measurement check. All teams doing slightly different jobs there, and you obviously don't want to be dragging that through the water. And the foil trimmer is doing a good job there just to keep that out of the water at all times. Luna Ross, a very similar concept as well.
Foils are a lot thinner than we saw in New Zealand, and longer.
It's a long way there.
Happy now, Pete?
3, 2, 1. They're probably going.
I don't think they're laying left at that.
Always a delicate balance with the foil designers and the engineers. Sailing team always pushing hard for as minimal as you can, and the engineers not wanting to give you something that's going to break or bend. So a lot of lessons learned since that previous America's Cup in Auckland.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete leg number 4 of the Louis Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series race against INEOS Britannia.
Coming up here now.
I think you have to go
Slight gain just made by INEOS Britannia on that downward leg. 2 to go.
Yes.
British still in this, Shirley. If Emirates Team New Zealand make a little mistake and do a touchdown at any point in time, the British will be right there. So it's definitely not over yet.
Well, their first race of the day, it came down to the last two legs. Wow. INEOS Britannia.
Big job to keep the boat on the foils here, Shirley. Down speed. Oh, and I think they may have just come off. They've got slow. They've just misjudged that ley line slightly. Having to do a double shoot with both foils down, and unfortunately for the British team, they've washed off too much speed to get around that mark.
Looked wonky coming in, didn't she?
It was just a really wobbly little bit of breeze there, I think, for the British, and they'll have to do a full rebuild here, accelerating back into that pressure, but they have to get foiling, and they have to try and accelerate enough speed to execute the tack before they get to the boundary. So, unfortunately, a big loss there for the British team.
They've got good pressure now,
This
though.
is the race committee. We are moving the finish line, shortening the course down to 1 nautical mile.
INEOS Britannia fought so hard down that run. I think they gained between 80 and 100 metres. All came down to the accuracy of that ley line.
Shall we get to it?
Breeze getting lighter across the course. I think you can see even Emirates Team New Zealand there down to 27 knots of boat speed now, which is still boosting, but
Let's go for it.
you just watch the British coming here, exiting out of the jibe full power, having to put that windward foil down to keep the hull clear of the water, which actually washes off speed, and then you see the jib with just no air in it as they have to do that double manoeuvre and basically just running out of power there. Another angle here, just as they re-accelerate, and unfortunately for the team, just not being able to keep the boat on the foils there. So quite a big deficit there to make up, but as we've seen previously, one little wobbly tack and you're back in the game for the pass. So both boats now sailing in quite light breeze.
Just a constant reminder of the brutality of racing here. You get one little thing wrong. We say it all the time, but you know, if you want to be in that final of the Louis Vuitton Cup, you cannot afford moments like that.
I sit way on the downwind of Turkey, you reckon? It's pretty happy over here, just get through this. We can
And
always
Glenn,
get a jar over here as
how
well.
much of the accuracy in those manoeuvres is about people or about systems or design, or how does that work?
It's a huge combination. Obviously, you work long and hard, you know, as a sailing team member with the designers and
Probably gonna be
engineers
going
to
10 or 3 tags.
develop the boat so that you can use it and get the best out of it. But it's a really important part to be integral of that design process, and all the team sailors have a massive involvement with the boat and how it gets operated. So it's a really important relationship that, you know, is probably the difference between winning and losing the America's Cup.
Boundaries in 30. I think you're there. And you
I got it now. Making sure I got the
No,
speed.
you're way further, mate, way further.
Just a quick check-in on Chase Zero with Peter Lester before Emirates go through the top gate, mate. What do you make of it all?
Pretty funky at the top. It's sort of, the breeze is on and off. I thought it was just going to build nicely and be a good, solid breeze, but it isn't. And I think that's why we're seeing some of these almost unforced errors. And, you know, for INEOS at the bottom mark, they made such a big gain on that downwind, but ley line not quite right, and you just pay such a huge penalty if you hit a light spot at a crucial time.
Pretty funky, eh, Pete? You better get off all that 70s music you're playing on Spotify out there at Chase Zero. Hey, how about that? Pretty funky. Heading into the top gate. It's leg 5 of 6, and Emirates Team New Zealand now well and truly
Looks like we're going to have good pressure initially.
and comfortably at this point leading INEOS Britannia.
2. And all the way down. 6, 8 here, so just be careful of the bottoms. They've gone now. I think we could go soon. Just building and watching the boat, the wind speed. We're going to get one more pulse before the jump.
Quite an important manoeuvre here for Emirates Team New Zealand coming up.
he's following you this way, so Button actually got plenty of speed when you try and cross the gas. Yep.
Just staying a few knots above their minimum foiling speed there, Emirates Team New Zealand, so safe exiting that manoeuvre.
Nice gust here.
No shades of grey in that one, Stephen.
Best phase we've had all day.
And a few jibes where we've been lifted massively out here.
Yeah. It's nice when you drive into a degree lift.
They've got a big ride.
It's like hard work in this second race of the day for INEOS Britannia.
1, keep forward now. 3, 2, 1, 8. 2, 1, going forward. Going up.
Just digging it out of there. The British 21 knots of boat speed. Really got to get the shovels out here. Big, powerful main. I think they're just okay at 20 knots of boat speed there, but really, really close to coming off the foils there again. And very light on the course.
Yeah, we've got 5 knots of breeze up the top end of the course.
Cyclors still pumping away on Taihodo as they head towards the finish in this race of the Vuitton Cup Challenger Selection Series. Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender of the Louis Vuitton 37th America's Cup. You can see our hydrogen, one of the hydrogen chase boats there following through. Keeping an eye on what's going on. What's going on right now is that all things being equal, it's going to be a very comfortable win to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Should we go? 2, 1, and board.
Team New Zealand, marginal air out there, very, very soft, having to really, really keep the boat smooth here. You see the power coming into both sails there.
I'm happy. Forward. Button.
Back up into the finish.
Beautiful job there by the guys. You see the angle that they're coming into the finish. That is foiling experience 101 right there from probably arguably two of the best foiling sailors in the competition.
Keeping it hot.
Keeping it hot, yep. You don't have to win by a kilometre. You just got to make sure you stay on the foils and doing a great job.
Emirates Team New Zealand get the job done on another race day here in Barcelona against INEOS Britannia. And the defender notches up another win.
Heads up, boys. Nice one.
Rounding up.
That would have been fun on the 3.
Pretty much says it all. Nice one.
Yeah, happy we're on.
Yep, Marius van der Poel, Dougal Allen, Louis Crosby and Marcus Hansen there will be definitely having a good lather on after that big push out of those last couple of jibes. You're pretty much going full power and sailing with Marius in the last America's Cup out of some of those light air jibes. I think it was race 8 with a small jib on. They're the sort of guys you want to have pumping some oil around.
Sorry, leather on. Racehorses in there, are they?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to be eating your dinner off the floor of those cockpits at the moment. That's for sure. British will take some valuable lessons away from this race, though. Always learning opportunities, and I think the British didn't do much wrong off that start and certainly put themselves in a strong position. And I think that little right-hand shift was potentially what just gave them a bit of breathing space to windward for the Kiwis, and I think the British really did a good job there. Not much more they could have done in that situation. I think they executed that quite well.
They look slightly more vulnerable in the manoeuvres.
Time to go on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Nathan Outridge on port helm. Challenging day out there, Nathan.
Yeah, very dynamic day, that one. Very, very shifty. Blair and Andy were doing a great job of calling some good gusts for us. But, yeah, nice to get a win.
Oh, Nath, Glenn, you guys obviously sailing right out to the boundary there to get that last jibe in. That was moth sailing 101, just keep it on the foils. What was the combo there heading into that?
Yeah, that was nervous moments when you see 5 knots on the dial as you're about to jibe to go to the finish. So luckily for us, it was a little puff just above, and we managed to get a little pulse into the jibe and make it through in one piece, but we're almost back upwind to get to the finish. So the kind of day it's turning into. We thought it was going to be a bit windier, a bit more stable, but here we are in 5 to 8 knots and quite dynamic conditions.
Nathan, we'll take you back to the start. It was so tight between the two boats, but you just managed to creep off and extend and get some distance. How good was that start?
Yeah, it was a tight start. They did a good job of keeping it nice and tight in the leeward position there, but we managed to get that nice righty off the line and just live long enough to get to the boundary. And when we both tacked on the boundary, you know, bottom speeds were right down at the bottom end there, and we executed a nice tackle and yeah, managed to take control there. But it's definitely not easy out here, and that one could have gone either way.
Appreciate your time, mate. We'll see you against the French later on today as INEOS Britannia crossed the line. 3 minutes and 2 seconds, the winning margin to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Tough day, guys. Plenty of luck.
Well, great start. INEOS led back, dominated that left-hand side, and we wondered for a while whether Emirates Team New Zealand could live there, but they did more than live there. They climbed off, and look at this, beautiful sailing, a little right-hand breeze, which meant when they tacked, well, it was all on for INEOS from there.
Push through. Have to put a vacation.
And gate 4 here, breeze just dropping a little bit, and the British there having to do the double board down manoeuvre in really light air at the bottom of the course, and unfortunately coming off the foils, and really that was game over for the British, and allowing Emirates Team New Zealand to just literally sail away downwind in clear air. So valuable lessons for both teams, and a lot to take away from that for both the defender and the challenger.
Well, this was one of the key moments. INEOS losing loads of meters, a massive big loss from 260 meters behind to 1,300 off New Zealand at the finish. I mean, the wind went light, and that's really, I think, where we saw the big differences in GBR's foil setups. New Zealand boat didn't suffer anywhere near as much loss. Lots to do.
So that's the official confirmation of a 3 minute and 2 second win to Emirates Team New Zealand.